Indeed, it's Friday, the last official work day of the week, and this is the platform, still part of our morning show right here, the one we call the Morning Spice. Of course, we look at critical issues, we dissect them for your analysis, and of course, we bring newsmakers that they talk about issues. You make better decisions in the nearest future. So welcome on board. The platform, the pinnacle of all discussions on Flow 94.9 FM is back, and today we're talking party politics. So much is happening in the party, the People's Democratic Party. Of course, we're talking party politics today, and not even keeping it, might lose a track of what is happening in that political party. It started the issue of zoning, then now the protest, they get to the point of policemen laying siege and the secretariat tomorrow, yesterday rather. So much of these things happening, and we want to even delve into some of these issues for the party members to have an idea of what is happening, even as some persons are asking and saying, is the party serious about the 2023 general elections in Abia State? The issue of this might look like a family affair, but there are some party members that are disgruntled, that are not so happy with what is happening in the party. In fact, some persons even came out and said, well, we will work against this party because they're not so happy with some decisions being made, being taken by the leadership of the party in Abia State. Anyways, welcome on board. These are some of the issues we will look at this morning on the platform. We're already streaming on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Flow949FM, so you can join the conversation and drop your comments. We will take them later on the program. All right, joining me this morning is Chief Amma Abraham, is the PDP Vice Chairman for Abia North Senatorial District. Chief Abraham, glad to have you join us. Welcome to the platform on Flow FM. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
All right, let's begin with the protest before we delve into some other issues. It was an anti-protest, then it started with an anti-protest, anti-Asiforo protest, which was a protest against the chairman of the party in Abia State, Right Honorable Asiforo Okere. And then later the next day, there was a pro-protest in support of the chairman. So what is happening? I saw you in one of the videos filed in by our reporters. You were standing right behind the chairman when he addressed the anti-protester. So what is going on in the PDP in Abia State?
Well, thank you once again. What is happening with our great party is not unusual.
Okay.
It's what normally happens in times like this, and maybe we might see more of that, and even for the other political parties, you may also see even much more happening. A few days ago, some members of our party who came with the ambiguous name consigned Abia PDP members. Why I say it's an ambiguous name is because I consider myself also as a consigned PDP member. Every committed member of that party is concerned about trend of development, about how issues are being handled in the party,
okay,
and about anything which is a threat to our retaining power, not only in Abia State, but also recovering, being able to take over power at the national level. So they came to the party office to protest, and specifically there were issues they raised. One of the issues was that the three-man delegates elections for primary elections has been cancelled by the national executive of the party, and as such that it should not take place in Abia State. And then the second point they raised was that the state party chairman, Right Honorable Orwell Asiforo Okere, had sent somebody to Abuja to pick up materials meant for the three-man delegates. Then the third point they raised is that the chairman, Right Honorable Orwell Asiforo, is solely responsible for what they call the unusual zoning of the governorship position to both the Abia Central and Abia South. So that was the main reason why they came for the protest. And then during our response to them by our party, it was made clear to them that their position, that they were probably being misinformed. Okay. In mass communication, there is what they call the dangers of a single story. If you don't have your facts, your information correctly, you might the tendency is that you mislead the people. You'll be misled. For instance, on the issue of the 3-man delegate being cancelled, the position of the party is that at no time did the National Working Committee of the PDP cancel the conduct of the 3-man delegate election in Abia State. The truth is that an interested party to the 3-man delegate election had obtained a restraining order.
Okay, I was going to ask you about that restraining order.
Sir.
Has it been vacated?
Yes, you just
okay.
Yes, sir. They had obtained a restraining order from a court of competent jurisdiction. And it was the PDP, being a party that believes in the rule of law, could not have gone ahead with that the conduct of that Congress. So what the National Working Committee did was to first and foremost to vacate that order, which was vacated. And after vacating that order, the next thing is to go ahead with the Congresses. So there was no, that was the basis, it was only put on hold because of that court order.
Was the court order connected to the issue of zoning crisis that is presently...
No. This particular order, there are a lot of court cases, but this particular one was for the 3-man delegates, which they needed to vacate.
So it is not connected to the zoning crisis?
It is not connected.
Oh, okay.
You understand? So they needed to vacate, and it was vacated. You understand? So the party made them to understand that it was not as if because there would have been no basis. You understand? The party at the national level cannot adopt a different template for Abia and adopt another template for Kogi or Kaduna State. It must be the same. We have one and one constitution that is applicable to all the states and to all the party members. So at no time did they cancel, but rather it was put on hold because of the court order, which means that the primaries have to go on after the vacation of the order.
Has this been resolved by the National Working Committee?
It has been resolved.
Because other states went ahead with their 3-man.
That matter has been resolved, and you are going to hear. I am not going to preempt a press conference which is going to take place tomorrow.
Okay.
It has been resolved.
There is a date to that.
Yes, yes, it has been resolved. You get every matter and detail as it affects the 3-man this thing. You get it on a press conference which will take place tomorrow.
Okay. Did the state party chairman send anybody to Abuja to collect?
No, I am coming to that.
Oh, okay.
Now, the tradition of the party is that if there is a primary election going on in Abia or Anambra, the tradition of the party is that at Abia we have something like a local organizing committee, a committee that takes care of that response. But people will come from Abuja who will superintend
sent by the national body.
And when they are coming, it is their responsibility to come with the materials. You understand? These things we are talking are things most of us have done that in the past in Benue State. You understand? I have done that in other places. If those who are coming to conduct the exercise,
of the party from other states will be sent to this state
to conduct the exercise.
That exercise.
And it is why when they are coming, they will come with the materials. So it is not the place of the state chairman to assign anybody to go.
Did the state chairman send someone? Because that's the speculation going around. One of the reasons they protested. In fact, a picture was even circulated online that a stakeholder, I'm not going to mention anyone's name, I'm sure you are aware of what I'm talking about, that a member of the party was sent by the state chairman to get those materials to conduct the 3-man.
I have heard about that. And I have also had various versions of that picture circulating online.
All right.
There are people who allege that this is an old picture taken several years ago. You understand? Like, I have been in the party office, national office, at various times. So if somebody had captured my picture, maybe during a visit in that office, maybe 2 years ago, or last year, or 3 years ago, and then something is coming up now, people are trying to.
So the said party member was not at the instant.
The
was
party,
not there at the instant of the
the position of the party is that the chairman have told us that at no time did he send anybody there. Did he send anybody? And we know that it is not the custom of our party and the tradition of our party. And state chairman also understand the tradition of our party. It is those who are coming to conduct the exercise who come with the material. It is not for the state to send somebody to Abuja to go to pick up the materials.
Interesting.
So it's misleading.
All right.
Very, very misleading.
Just before we talk about the third issue that they protested about at the state secretariat, let me just let you know that this is the platform, the pinnacle of all discussions on Flow 94.9 FM. We do this every Monday, every Wednesday, and also every Friday on the Flow of God's Own State. We're talking party politics today, and we're live on Facebook already. In case you want to watch what is happening in the studio, we're live on Facebook.com/Flow949FM. We're looking at the Abia PDP zoning controversy, where some persons are for the zoning arrangement and some persons are against the zoning arrangement. In fact, it led to protest, anti-protest, and the counter-protest the next day. And the third day, police laid siege at the PDP secretariat in Abia State. And the question that comes to mind is, will PDP put her house in order before the 2023 general elections? Those that are disgruntled about the party's decision, will they have a say, and will their nerves be calmed, if I can use that, before the 2023 general elections? Of course, the party will be heading to the primaries very soon, starting with the House of Assembly. But there are issues concerning the three-man delegate primaries, which is being cleared right now by my guest in the studio, Chief Ama Abraham. He's a member of the State Working Committee, of course, the PDP Vice Chairman for Abia North Senatorial District. Now, let's look at the third on the list of their agitations. Those that protested against the leadership of the state chairman in Abia State, Right Honorable Sifero Okere. They said that they are not so happy with the zoning arrangement. So what do you have to say about that? How did the state working committee arrive at the zoning arrangement, and what was the chairman's response?
Before the PDP, the State Working Committee and the Large Committee of the party had studied the 17 local government areas of the state for a political impact assessment.
Okay.
And what we did during that assessment was to do a collation of what is considered to be the greatest concern of our party members, particularly as it has to do with zoning of political offices and then the state of infrastructure in those local government area. And it was an intensive study which we carried out. And during that period, we received both oral testimonies and documented paperworks from the 17 local government areas of the state. And there is one thing we discovered. We discovered that, for instance, during our tour of Abia North, every local government had made a very strong case of zoning the governorship,
of producing the
next governor on the platform of the PDP.
Okay.
So that was a position in Abia North, and nobody takes it away from them.
All the local governments.
Yes, all the local governments, and very germane reasons were given why this position should be zoned to Abia North. And then at Abia Central, we witnessed the same thing, where people came out in all the local government areas insist that the governorship should be zoned to Abia Central. And prominent, I don't want to call names, prominent members of our party in Umuahia North, Umuahia South, Isialangwa North, Isialangwa South, Osisioma, and Ikuano prominent made this position very, very clear. They made it very, very clear. And by the end of the day, we have our the state working committee has a think tank that is responsible on crafting strategies, winnable strategies for the party, and then we have another crack team within the state working committee that is also saddled with the responsibility on how those winnable strategies can be executed, so that we can win election. And by the end of the day, from the reports we got from these subcommittees, it became very, very clear that if anybody or the party does anything to undermine any of these zones, Abia North and Abia Central, that we might experience mass exodus from that zone. People might leave the party to join the other party. So after our evaluation, now we did what I may call a kind of comparative assessment. You understand, of organizations that have faced in the past. You understand, organizations that have faced this type of situation in the past, and we, on the course of our study, we discovered that FIFA is one of such, not only local organization, international organization. Yes, sir. The World Football Governing Body is an organization that, at a certain point in its history, it was saddled with the responsibility of determining who hosts the World Cup. You understand? And it became very, very impossible for them to zone the World Cup to a single country. That was for the first time in 2002. And the only option for them, because at that time they felt that the unity of FIFA was being threatened, so what they did was to zone the World Cup to two countries for the first time. I think that is Japan and South Korea, if I'm not mistaken. For the first time, they zoned the World Cup. It has never happened before. They zoned the World Cup. And we also look at another organization, CAF, which after some time was also saddled with that type of situation, where the unity, where the central committee members could not agree on a country based on every permutations. So they also decided to zone two African countries. People asked questions at that time: how are they going to deal with immigration issues? How are they going to deal with transport issues? How are they going to deal with other critical issues? And by the end of the day, it became one of the best World Cups. So for us, we will not allow any situation of persons from Abia Central to engage in mass exodus from the party, because we have denied them what seems to be one of the strongest desire of their people, and we will not also do that for Abia North. So the advantage, because we must also look at not only we must look at the implications and the advantage of the decision we have taken. The advantage of what we have done today is that the Abia PDP delegates will now be looking at capacity
in those two.
Yes, sir. Capacity. Yes, sir. They will be looking at capacity. They will be looking at who has what it takes. They will look at antecedents. They will look at the background of the person. They will look at the experience of the person. They will look at a lot of factors to determine. So
just a minute, Chief Abraham.
You know, let me tell you.
Yes.
Just 1 minute. Many years ago, you know, we are a state known for SME. Many years ago, in the streets of Aba, what you see is A&A Limited, sole distributors of a particular product from China or Japan. But after some time, it became an old order that no company, Coca-Cola, will not allow a sole individual to be its distributor. But rather what they will do, they will allow as many companies with financial capacities to compete for the distribution of his products.
That's breaking monopoly.
Yes, breaking monopoly.
Just a moment.
Yes, breaking monopoly.
Are you saying that it's due to the agitation from Abia Central? That's the reason the State Working Committee considered Abia Central and have this unprecedented zoning arrangement in the PDP?
It is as a result of the agitation from the both zones. What you said, that we decided to expand the scope of choice for our people.
Some political watchers and members of your party that are not so happy with this zoning arrangement are saying there were agitations from other zones in 2015 before the party zoned to just one senatorial zone.
No, let me tell you. Listen. I am a student of political history.
Yes,
you understand, and I have been in this in the past 20 years. Now, the question is that at what point, even at those points where we saw something that looks like government interest going to a particular zone, we have also seen persons from other zones contesting the election. Like today, I can assure you authoritatively that even though the party did not zone
to Abia South,
you cannot stop anybody from Abia South.
It is a constitutional right.
You cannot stop. So you cannot stop. So for how long are we going to make laws which we cannot enforce? That should be
zoning is APR. It's enshrined in your constitution, but in the past, stakeholders in your party have come out to say we've adopted the Abia Charter of Equity. Was that document considered before this zoning arrangement was made public by the State Working Committee in Abia State?
I believe so much in that document, and I have a copy of that document. And as an individual, I believe that as an individual, speaking as Ama Ibrahim, I believe that the governorship should have been zoned to Abia North. But as a member of the State Working Committee, I stand end to end with my colleagues on the decision taken by the party. And to be very honest, I find nothing wrong. As I said, it has expanded the scope for choice for our people. And I don't know what people are afraid of. What are we trying to emphasize on deprivation? You understand? Deprivation. If there is any mistake I think we made, it's even coming up with that zoning. Because I think everybody, because the zoning we are talking about,
yes,
which is enshrined in our constitution. You understand? The constitution of my party is not superior to the constitution of the Federal Republic. You understand? Which has given every man the right of franchise to vote and be voted for. You understand? Which is not only an ordinary right, it is a fundamental right. You understand? It is a fundamental right. And you don't, in a democratic setting like us, if you want the international community to take you serious, you don't stampede on people's fundamental rights.
Okay, let's do a bit of calculation here. Politics is about number, Chief Abraham. Now, it's a known fact in Abia that PDP is not as grounded in Abia North Senatorial District like other senatorial districts. Looking at the number of seats coming, the seats the party the opposition party in Abia State produced for the National Assembly, and the only seat for the APC is coming from Abia North. It looks like PDP is not as grounded. Was that considered in this zoning arrangement? Because some persons are saying maybe because the party doesn't want to lose the 2023 general elections, that is why the party decided to attach Abia Central to this zoning arrangement just to ensure
all factors were taken into consideration.
Okay.
All factors were taken into consideration. As I said, it was an elaborate study, political impact assessment study, which was carried out, and several factors were being considered, and several documents were being received. You understand? And calls here and there. Some of these documents came to us directly, some of them came to individuals for presentation. And it was an meeting.
So how is the
that
state
meeting
working?
and that meeting? Let
Yes.
me tell you, that meeting had 12 persons in attendance.
Okay.
The state working committee of the PDP is made up of 14 members.
Okay.
It's a 14-man state committee. Okay. And then out of that 14, 12 attended that meeting.
And they all agree?
You understand? 12 attended that meeting. I am the only person and the state woman leader who did not even attend the meeting. You understand? I did not attend that meeting for reasons beyond my control. I couldn't attend that meeting. Now, these other two attended the meeting, and as I speak today, nobody have cited anywhere in this state or even in the PDP, even at the national level, where a group of persons among those 12 did what I call a dissent or a disagreement.
Okay. They all agreed.
Yes, they agreed. They agreed. And that is why you have not come. You see, that is why you still see PDP speaking like as a voice. You understand? Because after that meeting, there was no 2, 3, 4, 5 person who went anywhere to hold a press conference to say we did not agree.
Chief Abraham, some elder statesmen who are members of the PDP have come out openly to say they are not in support of what the party is doing as far as zoning is concerned in Abia State. I don't want to mention names, but if you want me to go ahead, I will mention names. They consulted before the party adopted this unprecedented zoning arrangement.
You say you don't want to mention names.
Okay, the former governor of Abia State, who is a senator from Abia Central,
okay,
who many persons feel he should also support this because it favors his senatorial district.
We have
Senator Tio Oji has come out twice to say Abia North should produce the next candidate, gubernatorial candidate of PDP.
You see, this is the senator you have just mentioned is a highly respected member of our party, and he's a father, not just a member.
Exactly.
He's a father.
That's the reason I called him a elder statesman.
And we have a lot of respect for him.
Exactly.
You understand? And nobody can deny him of his opinion. You understand? The state working committee, we have a member. We have Umuahia North, which is the senator's local government, is represented in the state working committee. You understand? Umuahia North is represented in the state working committee. The treasurer of the committee is from Umuahia North. Umuahia South is represented in the state working committee. The zonal chairman of Abia Central is from Umuahia Central. Isialangwa North, Isialangwa North, Isialangwa South, and Osisioma are all represented. They are Abia Central.
Okay.
You understand? And the senator, our big father, a man we respect so much, had made his opinion known, and I am sure he must have transmitted whatever his opinion is
to the state chairman,
to those persons.
Okay, to those persons representing
him, and all of them were part of that meeting.
Interesting.
All of them, 5 of them, I can call their names. They are known. You understand? All of them, you understand, were part of that meeting. You understand? They were part of that meeting. So you see, in a country like in Abia State, we have only one governor. You understand? And in Abia State, we don't have 2 governors. We have 1 governor. Now, when you elect somebody to take responsibilities, when those people take responsibilities, you should accept it. You understand? Because the state working committee are elected representative of the party, saddled with the responsibility of managing the party affairs on day-to-day basis.
Okay,
you understand?
Just a moment. We need to take a break. When we return, I'd like to know how the party intends to extend the olive branch to the aggrieved members of your party, and also what led to the police laying siege to the party's secretariat in Abia State. It is still the platform, the pinnacle of all discussions, right here on Flow 94.9 FM. We're looking at the zoning controversy rocking the People's Democratic Party, the ruling party. The party has been in power since 1999, and one will be asking, why is it every electioneering period there are issues concerning zoning in the party, despite being in the helm of affairs since 1999. We look at that also when we return after the break. It is the platform, the pinnacle of all discussions on Flow 94.9 FM. Very much for staying tuned. Still the platform, the pinnacle of all discussions, right here on Flow 94.9 FM, the flow of God's own state. A Friday edition. We're talking party politics, and this time we're looking at the issues and the crisis, not like a crisis, because they will say there are no crises, only politicking and interest showing and people showing their interest ahead of the 2023 general elections. But then there was a protest, of course, which was led by a comrade in Iro. He led the PDP concerned members, although it has been addressed by Chief Abraham Ama, who is the PDP vice chairman, Abia North, in the studio, where he justified the controversial zoning for unprecedented zoning formula for the PDP for the 2023 general governorship and the suspension of delegates election in the state. Let's listen just a bit to Comrade O'Brien. We come back to how the party intends to extend the olive branch to aggrieve members of the party, and also the reason police laid siege to the party secretariat. That's happened yesterday. You do not have the latest concerning that, if the police are still there or not, but we'll get to know about that later on the program.
Told him, who do you want to rigmarole about it? He talked about consultation. What is the definition of consultation? Because at least you have practically seen that we are not consulted. There's no more white lies. You have seen that we are not consulted. So who did he consult? And if he actually did his consultation well, he should have zoned it to one place if he seemed he had done the right thing. He's just doing all the more you look, the less you see. There is nothing anywhere in the world you zone one thing to two person and see you have zoning. Like we said, that if you are not zoning at all, don't zone. And it will be dangerous not to zone, because he will put him on record and on spot. If tomorrow, for instance, I become the governor, I finish, I decide to hand over to my cousin like they are trying to do, it should be understood, since we think we shouldn't zone. Because we have said it, yes, Okolongo and all that. If the people are so sincere about not Old Aba and Old Bend, they should take this thing to what is, yet it will not be justified, but at least there will be element of, you should watch it from a certain prism of sincerity. You cannot read Maro and send it back to your extended cousin and say it's Old Aba. So why is no longer Old Aba? Old Aba is no longer Old Aba. You brought it to your cousin and told him it's Old Aba.
All right, that's Comrade O'Brien there, who led the protest to the PDP secretariat in Abia State. I'm sure you want to respond to that. Or do you want us to move on? Because he's making some allegations there.
They are basically nothing for me to respond.
Oh, okay.
He said that there is no way in the world you zone things to. I have just given you the outcome of our comparative studies, and I told you what's happened with FIFA. I also told you what's happened with CAF.
Maybe I should rephrase my question.
He also said that there was no consultation. You understand? Whereas it is very, very clear that
the state working committee went around all
so the only point anybody can make proof is that the people Ogbani is from Abia North. You understand? Maybe the only point he has to prove is to prove to us at the party that at no time did the people from Central, Abia Central, you understand, request that they also want to participate.
Maybe I should just be very direct with this question. Does the governor has anything to do with this zoning arrangement in PDP? He has a say. He's a member of the party in Abia State. In fact, he's the leader of the party in the state.
You are answering questions. You are answering your questions.
Okay.
Does the governor has anything? The governor he is part of the system. You understand? The fact that he's a governor does not mean that he has been disfranchised. The fact that he's a governor does not mean that he's a disfranchised. But if your question means that, has the governor at any point in time called the members of the state working committee to tell them that I want this thing to go to so and so place? My answer is God knows no.
Okay.
No, it has never happened.
Emphatically.
No, it has not happened.
Okay.
If that is the meaning of the question, you understand. But if it is with the governor on the course of all this, that is demonstrates, commit himself to his constitutional God-given rights and privileges. You understand? So as far as franchise is concerned, of course, yes. So the governor will have his interest. He's a human being. You understand? He must have interest.
So why did the police lay their siege? I don't know if they're still there.
I left yesterday. The police left yesterday at about 12:30. And let me tell you, yesterday people like to misinterpret anything that happened. About a month or some 6 weeks ago, we received a security alert about a threat to our office. We received a security alert, and even before that time, the security agencies, I won't mention their names, have also received some threats about some persons trying to come to the office to do something, maybe to burn down the place. You understand? And you know, the security agencies are ahead of many of us. So, if you consider the fact that yesterday that there were security breaches here and there, you understand, then their being there was not out of place.
So it has nothing to do with the protest.
It has nothing to do with it. It has nothing to do with the protest. It has nothing to do with the protest. Nothing to do with the protest. You can get the spokesman of the police is there. You see, the media has a role to play so that people will not subject themselves to all manner of mundane interpretation in the new media, social media. You understand?
That's one of the reasons you're here.
Yes. So that
to clarify
because
issues.
people are always misinterpreting issues. Remember, if anybody is in doubt why the police came there, you can talk to the spokesman of the Nigerian police. You understand? He will tell you definitely that it has nothing to do with protest. You understand? But probably has something to do, and that is why in the near future, those who engage in any kind of protest at the party office must make sure that they don't allow their protest to be hijacked by anybody. Otherwise, they will take full responsibility of what's happened. Otherwise, they will take full responsibility of what happened. They will take full responsibility. So when people are protesting, they should make sure that they go to the security to provide enough security for them and enough security to the people in the party office. Because otherwise, if anything goes wrong, those persons will take full responsibility.
Okay, let's talk about the extension of Olive Branch. It's very important. First, I'm going to ask you a direct question as comrade, as Chief Abraham Ama. Are you happy with the development in the PDP?
We are doing very well.
Are you happy with the development in the People's Democratic Party in Abia State?
Yes, we are doing very well. You see, what you see is normal politics. It's normal politics. And I told you about...
Chief, are you happy?
Yes, I am happy.
Okay.
I am happy.
Okay, so how do you intend to extend Olive Branch to those that are not happy?
The mechanism is in place. We will do that. We have always been doing that. We have done that in the past. We are doing that today. We will do that tomorrow. You understand? We will
and do you think the
that.
party will overcome this before the next?
I can tell you that as a person, I have not seen any threats. I have not seen any crisis.
Some persons are saying they will work as spoilers. They won't leave the party, but they will work as spoilers. I don't know. Can a responsible son, a responsible daughter, tell the father that because I'm not happy with what is going on in the family that I'm going to work as spoiler? It tells you how responsible any person who makes such a statement. You understand? Because at times in politics, what people does is that if it goes your way, it's good. If it doesn't go your way, it's not good. You understand? But what I don't take, what I will not take is for somebody to look at me in the face or look at another party member in the face and tell me. I once called somebody in order. You understand? I tell him, don't say that. You don't come and say, in fact, it has to do with an aspirant. We were in a kind of engagement. Okay.
And on the course of presentation, one of his supporters said, if that person does not get this, they will do this. I said, stop that. You understand? You are not the only person in the race. What happens if every other aspirant says if you get it that we are going to, you don't do that. It's not the way to go.
Let us get reactions from our feedback platforms, both terrestrial and digital platforms. We're live on Facebook. Comments are pouring in already. Facebook.com/Flow949 FM. You can be part of the conversation. Call the studio phone lines at 0808 182 6949 or 0811 605 2949. Also drop messages on 0906 510 8289. Hello, good morning to you. Yes, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Thank you. My name is I'm calling from.
All right.
Michael, let me tell you, like the young man at the studio, what he said. He said that he's not there when they, meaning that those things that he's telling the good people of other states is what they told him. Lot of things happened that day. Those people that you don't want to mention their name, I met about one or two of them. That should be last 2 weeks. I know what they told me. The issue is that God wants to do a wonderful thing in Abia. People are tired. The level of frustration in Abia is too much. So whatever how you are trying to do it, PDP will need to send them packing and look for people that will move to other states. Look at everybody. Buhari was in the pony.
You have 30
now
seconds.
I'm speaking with you. Go there and see what is happening. They are sharing our money. People are dying here. They are telling me we don't do.
Let's get to that person on the line. Hello, good morning.
Michael, good morning.
You're welcome. Good morning.
Thank you. Sir Abraham Oba, good morning, sir.
Abraham Ama. Good morning.
Okay, Abraham Ama. Sorry, my brother. My name is Owapechi Debra and I'm representing from Arope in the LGA. Abraham Ama, honestly, PDP still remains my party, but I am still going with the PDP leadership in others to put their house in order. A lot of people are good, including me here. But you people will always say that the party is supreme. But before you talk about party being supreme, can you please do the right thing so that people will not still agree? I was actually thinking, at the height of this agitation, why not the state working committee of the party throw this thing open for godly sake? Why not throw it open so that $1 will stop and nobody will lay accusation on the governor unnecessarily? No mind. Can we please allow Governor to finish his tenure before giving him all this headache and all the rest of them? Because the leadership of the party on the things that these people are doing now is actually sending a negative signal to the governor, and it's not nice.
All right. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Hello, good morning to you. Welcome.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Welcome.
Yeah, my name is Ojemba. I'm calling you from Omaya.
You're welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah. See, the man in the studio, Abraham Ama, is not being sincere from what he is saying. From his body language, you should know that he is on the side of the governor, trying to give the governorship position to Ada Central. That is his cousin, like the old one accused him of. He's not being sincere. He's from, during this period of political season, people keep on playing punky. How can he be talking? He is from Abia North and he be supporting people from Abia Central to have the position. From his body language, he's not being sincere to himself. What he's just saying here is just to cover himself. He is on the side of the governor, trying to give the governorship position
he's going
to Abia Central. So that's Professor Uche Ikone. That is the true position. Let him be out and tell the others his position.
Thank you for sharing your thoughts with us. Glad to have you join us. Welcome.
Hello, good morning. I'm not giving a man of the name of the state.
You're welcome.
Yeah, you have told us that they received security threats in the past 6 months, and now this why nobody's aware of it.
Six weeks. He says 6 weeks. He says 6 weeks.
That you come to hear that there is a state by the police at the PDP secretary. Sometimes politicians don't tell us the truth. They have a way of defending themselves, even when it is obvious that people are aware of what is going on. They will just find a way to defend themselves at the expense of the poor people. It's not good. It's not good. They should be straightforward and sincere in all they are doing. That's just my take. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you for your take. Let's run through the messages. Good morning. PDP should please make it open to everyone and forget about the zoning. It has gone round the 3 senatorial zones. And why is the PDP killing themselves? The governor is being controlled. Okay, that allegation, which you cannot substantiate. If you have evidence, produce it. This one says because he didn't dance to their tune, they want to. Okay, Kingston from Umahia, thank you. Uzomba Kanu from Isikwatol says, good morning. The zoning system is awkward and bizarre. PDP must put their house in order to avoid hard. I know. That's coming from Kanu Zomba. Prince Emmanuel, Samuel, thank you for joining us. On the Facebook page, also Francis joined from Enugu, thank you. Raphael Nwoko joined from Lekki, that's in Lagos, thank you. And Ezekiel Elvis says, good morning, Michael. My guest in the studio of the truth. The zoning arrangement of PDP is doing more harm than good to Abia, and so no wonder Abia is lacking behind in terms of proper, adequate, and quality infrastructural development. Honestly, what Governor David Umahi is doing in that state is super massive and deserves to be emulated by Abia State government. Omunsonye Akuche JP says, good morning, Mr. Speaker. Abia State government and PDP are busy fighting over where to zone the governorship seat to, while David Umahi is busy developing Beboy into a modern city. There is no need to romancing the truth. Zoning Abia governorship seat to both Abia Central and Abia North is injustice. Onyi Desmond says, Chief Amadu, do you also consider the fact that all Umahia North, that PDP has only one local government before zoning the governorship candidate of the party to come from a zone where it's not PDP zone? Comrade Uche Okoro says, good morning. Guess you're doing well. Honorable Abraham, okay, I know he's doing this because of, okay, no, that's a direct attack on my guest. I may not take that, but I do appreciate. I know you want to respond to the feedback on our platform.
On the security,
yes, quickly.
On the security threats, at the police stage at the party office, I said it's as a result of a security threat. And the only way for anybody anywhere to counter this is to get something different from the police spokesperson. Okay. And not for people
we will do that. Try and get across
to manufacture their own
the PPRO, Geoffrey Bunda.
Yes, and not for people to manufacture what they think was responsible. You understand? And then even if police had told because there was some protest, maybe the police may have also decided to do so because they felt that the protest could lead to something else. And the angle why it was not because of the protest, there was no protest at the party office yesterday. And the police did not come the day before yesterday. They did not come there the day before when there was protest. They came there yesterday and they left at a certain point in time. So I am sure that they came there because of security threats. And then on the issue of people trying to give certain interpretations about about some of the issues the party have tried to explain, it's just based on certain things you study in public communication. One of those things is that there are people who, even when they listen to you, they are not listening to comprehend. They are listening to tell you for you to stop so that they will tell you what they want to tell you. There are people, but there are people who listen to assimilate and they respond on the basis of what they have assimilated. You understand? We have put all the matters bare in the floor.
Chief Abraham,
why we are taking the actions we are taking.
We need to step out of the studio already. This conversation continues on our social media platforms. You can drop your comments. We will take them later. Thank you for joining us this morning, Chief Abraham Ama, for being part of the program, the platform on Flow FM.
It's my pleasure once again. Thank you for the great job you're doing.
He's the PDP Vice Chairman, Abia North. And many thanks to you for joining. The program returns next week, Monday. Many thanks to my producer, Samson Eze, and Wisdom Thomas, and also Ezine Okoro. And the guys behind the visuals on our Facebook were Stanley and Chinedu. My name is Michael Oni.